Only 1% of high school athletes go on to play Division I college basketball. Only 1.2% of those athletes go on to play in the NBA. As the #1 ranked boys basketball program in the state of Georgia, Grayson High School continues to produce elite level athletes that fall in that 1%. Now, Grayson's current crop of highly recruited underclassmen are leaning into the advice of those who played and coached the game at the highest level, with their sights set on their second state championship.
What y'all feel about the All-Star game? For real, I want to get right into it.
It was pretty mid. It was all right. I feel like the games could have been a little longer, like the 60 points.
Yeah, I seen that. They said it was
like 70.
A total of 3 hours of like filming, but they only play like 30 minutes. I want to hear your opinion, Corey, because we always talk basketball.
First of all, Jason Tatum should have got the MVP.
Who won it? I went to sleep.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you know that's right. Steph Curry get the MVP.
I agree. Still, Jason should have walked away with it. But I think the new concept was to ignite the older players to play hard. Some people had an ill feeling about the young guys participating. For me, the young guys participating helps them look forward and change in the future. So to have those older guys, you know, play out there and they actually played competitively was probably the best thing. But you expect the older guys to win and the young guys to learn from it. But I guarantee the game next year will probably go back to the regular East.
The regular, yeah, like growing up. What you feel?
Really, I agree with what he said. I feel like just being like a younger player in the league, just seeing older people trying to role model, like be a role model for them. Basically, like they trying to be a role model for us, basically. So whatever they got to do, learning lessons from that game, basically, to help us.
You feel like as a y'all younger players, right?
Yeah.
And I saw with the Rising Stars versus the OGs, it was called. Like you feel like you would have had a level of nervousness going against somebody you've been looking up to your whole life, or you would have been trying to bust their ass?
I feel like before I step on the court, you always gonna have like a little bit of nervousness, but
yeah.
I feel like once I got in between the rectangle, I feel like it's just killed from there. So.
Yeah, and speaking really of y'all generation, I graduated high school 2004, right? So it wasn't social media. I don't know when y'all graduated. I don't want to put y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't social media. So how do y'all juggle having the spotlight on, you know, y'all Grayson basketball? Anywhere you go, it's Grayson basketball. It's fans. And like you were saying before we start rolling, his son and your son, right? Look up to you guys. So how do you balance being in the spotlight and also, you know, you scrolling on social media, some people saying y'all trash, some people saying McKeitron better. Like how do you handle that and be able to juggle that?
I mean, I love it. Because, you know, coming from a private school last year with Coach T, we didn't really get as much social media attention.
Yeah.
And now just getting it's kind of like a rush. And so even the bad, like worst part of it, like the hating and all that, I mean, it feels good to me because it's like dang, like people are really watching me, people are looking, watching every move that I'm doing. And as long as I can keep doing the right things and just keep being who I am, I feel like it's always going to be a positive for having the amount of eyes that you have.
I don't mean to cut you off, but that's politically correct. You don't get mad no time, like, okay, all right.
Okay.
Come on now.
The only time I didn't even get mad. It was just like, one time Pierce showed me a video of a kid on Wheeler talking about they wanted to see us in the regular season, so I was like, we just marked that game, and so I was real ready to play for that. But I haven't really seen no like real negative thing like about Grayson or just anything like that. Yeah.
I know you probably get it. Yeah. You know, being highly ranked, moving from Alabama, correct, over to Georgia. How do you handle that? Do you what it was Kobe or LeBron go in black mode during the playoffs? Like how you handle that social media aspect?
I'm not really an emotional type of person, so like if somebody like says something to me, it's like whatever. But on social media, you got people hating, but my main thing is to get better at basketball. So I'm just trying to get better at basketball every day, and as I keep getting better, people will see I'm keeping better, then my game will talk for itself. So I don't really respond to it. Like I just be chilling and just.
You just keep it scrolling. Yeah. Do you save stuff and say, all right, when the season over, I'm coming back for the smoke? Like.
I don't really save anything. Yeah. It's just whatever. Just let them say whatever.
Yeah, I'm petty because I don't know what y'all be on. How you do it, Chris? Because I know you probably get some. You transferred, and I heard people say you was lame for that. I saw that. I know for real. I saw that on Twitter, on everything. So how do you feel about doing that?
I feel like it was just like a much bigger thing for me, just like to prove that I can really play on this type of level and like just showcase my talents for real.
Yeah. So that was the main reason to be on a bigger level.
Yeah.
I get it. How y'all think y'all would have handled social media playing, back then, and now you had social media that everybody seeing what y'all was doing? How y'all would have handled it?
I probably would have failed at it. No cap. I just think these guys are just scrutinized. I think they don't understand because of social media. The minute they walk out their front door, them phones and cameras on them because they, so great at their craft. So they got to be cognizant of everything they do. And, I made a lot of mistakes as a basketball player, as a youngster growing up. So I think I probably would have got caught doing something crazy.
I do got a question for you, John. I heard earlier before we start rolling, you say you was undrafted. You didn't get any offers coming out of high school?
No, I did. They just came later.
Talk about that process, because we do have, of course, we have a highly touted kid, but then we have kids that got, what you said, you got 8. How many you got?
25.
25. How many you got? 4. Yeah. So you have, quote unquote, underdogs. Would you consider yourself, you was an underdog coming out of high school, or? No, talk.
I think so.
Okay, like what advice would you give them to people that may seem like, man, I'm overlooked, but I can really go?
To not get involved in that. That to me is the most important thing, because I had a conversation with my son, for example. So he felt some type of way because he's like, man, I ain't got no highlights. And I'm like, bro, you thinking about the wrong stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? Like your focus got to be so locked in. You're not even tripping, even if you do got 100 offers. Because the other thing that we don't understand is the long haul. So y'all looking at right now, but where do you want to be? Right? One of the names that pop up is Rashad Caruth. They know this name, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody respected, bro. You talking about a Georgia legend, cold-blooded killer. And then he went to college, and then that was it. Because he couldn't stay with it. So for me, my thing was just to trust in the process and really stay the course. My goal was to put the work in. That's it. Got to put the work in. Anything can happen.
In regards to putting the work in, Corey, you've trained a lot of legends currently. In the past, what does the work look like for a high school student right now? Is it such thing of overtraining, you think? And like, what does that work? Because everybody say, oh, you got to grind, what's hard work? Like, what is that to somebody in the 12th grade, 11th grade?
I think you have to choose who you work with. Like, I think you have to be very selfish in that situation. And the question was, can you overtrain? Yes, you can experience burnout real early if you're not doing purposeful training. I think the mindset has to be finding what you're good at and become great at that. And I think the things that you are struggling with, because I don't want to call them a weakness, just things that you're struggling with, those are the things you got to improve. But you also need to have some courageous conversation with some guys who've done it before, like these guys standing here. You need to spend some time with those guys who've done it before, respect the past, so you'll better understand your future when it comes to basketball. Because a lot of guys want to skip steps, but there's people who've done it before you who can tell you all the things that they did that worked and things that they didn't do. I just think that guys need to spend more time doing that, because that's a heavy skill too as well. You need to understand the game. You need to know the history of the game. But your work has to be purposeful. So if I'm a point guard, and I always use this analogy, is if I'm a point guard, LeBron James cannot be my favorite player for that position.
You tripping, but keep going.
Can't be.
But keep going for it. We're going to talk about that later.
That was purposely done.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later, but keep going,
so,
bro.
If I'm a point guard, I need to look at Chris Paul. You know, I need to study the game from his perspective, especially if I'm his size. You know, I say LeBron jokingly, but, you know, Magic Johnson that's rare to have a 6'9" point guard or something like that. So I just think that the work that you do and the people you idolize, the people you study, you got to be selfish in that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be very selective of who you're working with. You need to know who they work with, and then become a heavy film guy. If you study film, that's going to cut off half the time you need to spend in the gym, because now you know what you need to go work on. And you got to be real with yourself too. If you're shooting 20-something% from three, that means spend some time on that. That means you need to change some things that you're doing with your catch and shoot, your balance, your feet. There's so many things you got to dive into. So your work got to be purposeful in the end.
I think too, to jump in to piggyback, but I think it's also important too is like their intentions. Because you might get the trainer that's trained the people, but what is his intentions or her intentions, respectively? Like, one of the other things that's more so relevant today than it was, I think, during our time is like people have ulterior motives. So if they know they got access to you, that's another thing like y'all have to worry about that I don't think was something that we had to worry about, you know what I'm saying, coming up. Like trainers nowadays, like the league top people, they're literally investing in these trainers because they are the closest thing to y'all. So that's how they get y'all tripped up on stuff. So if you're not careful, the wrong trainer might lead you down the wrong path. Ain't no different than the wrong agent or the wrong girl or anything else. Y'all are dollar signs, bro. They see that, they coming. It don't matter who, you know what I'm saying? So that was one of the things I thought about, like just coming up, like stuff that wasn't something I had to worry about training wise, but it's a different ball game for y'all.